Avoid the lottery of FIFA points. Head over to u7bike.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a 5% off. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at some FIFA 20 player rating predictions. I've decided to do the entire Roma squad. I tried this with Leipzig a week ago, but I didn't include any commentary, just did a short video with a bit of music. It didn't go down too well, so I'm going to try it now with commentary, maybe giving some reasoning behind some of the player ratings, etc. But if you do go on to enjoy today's video, remember to smack that like button and let's get into it. Olsen, going to give him a +3, played quite a few games last season, of course, 27 games, 27 starts. Conceded an average of 1.6 per game, which might sound like a lot, but it isn't completely horrific. Played a 6.7, could definitely have been better. I thought I'd give you a little indication on the right hand side as to how they've played the previous season. You won't always have total matches played, etc. But for the first two players, I think you will do. Their new goalkeeper, Pao Lopez, of course, played in La Liga last year, started 33 games, I think it was for Real Betis, conceded an average of 1.4 per game as opposed to Olsen with a 1.6. I'm not going to give him an upgrade. I'm going to leave him exactly where he is because I don't feel like he's done tremendously well to warrant that sort of upgrade above an 82. An 82 is definitely where I would see him being in FIFA 20. Moving on to Mancini, this guy has gone up a lot. He was a 70 rated, I think a non-race silver for Atalanta last season. He's now made that move to Roma and we've upgraded him by 8 to a 78 rated centre-back. I mean, you could argue that he could deserve to be higher than that. I'm not quite sure. Some of these player ratings in here may be a little bit off because I don't watch enough football from, well, I didn't watch enough football from those leagues. I do now because I'm heavily invested in certain things that require me to sort of pay attention. Juan Jesus, going to leave him where he is. He didn't play a tremendous amount of football last season. He's not been included a lot, if at all, this season either. So I'm not going to downgrade him because I don't think he quite deserves that, but I'm definitely not going to upgrade him. 78 is where I think he'll be for FIFA 20. Faccio up next, and he had a relatively good season, keeping 10 clean sheets with Roma, made several interceptions per game, averages of nearly 5 clearances a game, and nearly 72% tackles, 1 per game as well. So, I mean, that's not too bad. I quite like that stat. I think it's across a lot of games as well. Obviously a regular last season. So, I can definitely see this guy staying at 82, although with his age, you never know. Spinazzola made the move from Juventus to Roma this season, of course. He was a left wing in FIFA 19, but they've played him so far as a defender. He came on for Florenzi at right back, came on for Kolarov at left back in pre-season, so I definitely feel like they want to bring him in for that defensive role as opposed to the sort of attacking role. So yeah, definitely going to see him as a left back in FIFA 20. Now Kolarov, I think this guy deserves an upgrade. He's getting on a bit now. I think he's older than my granddad, but yeah, 84 rated, up from an 83, so a +1 upgrade. He obviously has played a lot of games, kept a relatively decent amount of clean sheets. He's got good passing on him, scored a couple of goals last year as well as getting a few assists, and just got some really nice solid stats. He's just one of their sort of staples. I think this guy definitely deserves an upgrade. Very, very good player. Going on to Santon, I could definitely see this guy getting downgraded. He didn't have the best of seasons last year. He didn't play an awful lot of football, so there is an argument to be made that you could downgrade him. I'm going to keep him at 75, give him the benefit of the doubt, but I would not be surprised to see him drop down to a 74. Another successful season last year for Florenzi. Obviously, it was an 82 rated card. I think maybe now as an 83 is a bit more respectable, looks fair. Obviously had a good run in the Champions League with those upgrades, and I mean, he's just a good player all round, really, isn't he? One of the solid sort of, again, another staple for Roma. 2 assists last season, quite a few clearances a game, clean sheets, etc. I think he definitely deserves just a 1 upgrade. And speaking of upgrades, it's time to go the other way. Downgrades. Zappacosta, now I think on loan from Chelsea at Roma. He played, I would say about 4 games last season. I don't know whether it's due to injury or just out of favour, but EA will not look upon this favourably. They will probably look upon this as if he has done very little and that he deserves to be downgraded. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with it, to be honest. He was 79. Moving on to a player that's gone up. Diawara, now up to 79 from 77. So going the other way. Diawara is one of those very young players that I think will come good in the next few seasons, maybe go up to an 82 and 83 across the next few FIFAs. But for right now, I can definitely see him being upgraded ever so slightly. Didn't get a massive amount of game time for Napoli last year, but definitely deserves a small upgrade. And from small upgrades to relatively big ones, Pellegrini, I think he is very fast becoming a big name in Rome. I think this guy is going to go on to be one of Italy's top players in the next few years. I mean, I'm not a football expert or anything, but up 4 from 78, I think is fair. Again, he plays literally every game for Roma. Played a lot last season as well. His passing stats are pretty decent across the board. I mean, he could be a little bit better in terms of accuracy, but this was last season. This season so far, he's been very good for them, despite the fact that a few results haven't gone their way. Cristante is another one of those players who, again, is very young, coming through. In fact, there are quite a few of those in this video. They're coming through. I think they deserve a little upgrade here or there. He was a 78, of course, so now up to an 80 in my opinion. Definitely deserves to be there. It's not the best looking card in the world. In terms of real life football, the guy is pretty decent. Again, one of those players who I think will be a top player in the future. We're going to move on now to a newly transferred player from Fiorentina to Roma, and of course talking about Veretout, up from a 79 to an 80, I think is a fair upgrade. This guy could actually be a good player in the very beginning of FIFA. Nice nation, good league, very well linked as well. Obviously you can get a lot of hybrids on the go with this guy very early on, and he's got one of those cards that's extremely well rounded and good passing stats with, I would imagine, relatively good ball control as well, so just look out for that guy. I have gone out on a limb with this guy, and I'm going to say plus 12 to a 76. He was a 64 rated bronze card. Have I gone a little bit too far? Should he be a silver? Maybe, but I don't have a FIFA 20 silver card, so I've kind of been a little bit naughty. But I don't know, I can definitely see him being a gold card. We've seen it before. Gagliardini did it in a January upgrade, so who knows? Nice little player there, Zaniolo. Pastore, down by 2. I don't think there could be many complaints here. He hasn't done an awful lot for Roma at all. Maybe he's got some important goals here or there, but, you know, he's only got 3 goals last year, didn't get any assists. His passing is still relatively good, that's why it's still an 81 rated stat, but I just don't see Pastore standing the test of time in terms of EA. I think he will probably lose a couple of points. Justin Kluivert up next. I think a little upgrade by 3 is probably about right for him. Up from a 75 to a 78. Still only 20 years of age, of course, so he's got plenty of room to grow. Of course, January upgrades are a thing, so you never know if he does well this season. He may go on to get himself another upgrade. In 29 matches last season, he got 1 goal and 6 assists, so you can see why he deserves a small upgrade, but nothing too crazy. Speaking of crazy, Perotti, he's not going down by a lot, but he's going down just by 1. Not really done it for me personally. I mean, you could argue that he deserves to stay where he is. 5 goals for Roma last term, no assists, but, you know, 1.4 key passes. His passing was sort of in the 80 percentile across games in general. Not necessarily looking at things like crosses and opposition half, etc. But I might be being harsh there. I don't know. Let me know. Under. Plus 3 for him, up from a 77 to an 80. I really rate this guy in real life. One of those players has been linked to Liverpool in the past, and I would not be surprised to see him move. No disrespect to Roma, but to one of those sort of top 5, top 6 European teams in terms of the Madrid's, Barcelona's, Liverpool's, etc. in the future. Not just yet, but in the future. I wouldn't be surprised. 3 goals, 7 assists last season. A very nice player, and I do hold that guy in high regard. 3 players remaining, and the first of which is Patrick Schick. I've probably mispronounced his name, I do apologise. He didn't do that well last year, actually. 3 goals, no assists in 24 games, 15 starts. He only averaged 54 minutes a game last year for Roma. I think he deserves a small upgrade, though, just because of his age. That sounds a little bit stupid, but he's still only 23 years of age, so I can definitely see EA maybe boosting this by 1 as opposed to downgrading it, although maybe they might keep it where it is. It's thin margins. Edin Dzeko deserves to stay where he is. That guy got 9 goals and 6 assists last season. Again, one of Roma's, if not Roma's top goal scorer. I didn't actually check that stat. I probably should have done. But still, I think downgrading him just because of his age is a little bit harsh, so leaving him where he is seems probably a fair thing to say. Defrel was out on loan last year at Sampdoria. He's now come back, and as far as I can tell, because the information is a little bit sparse here or there, he's still contracted to Roma, I think in fact until 2022. So back from loan, 11 goals last year, 3 assists, not bad return, more than their main striker in Dzeko. Why wouldn't you start this guy? Well, they haven't so far this year, so let me know in the comments, is he still at the club? Because for the information that I can find, he is still at the club, but they've not played him for whatever reason. Maybe he'll go out on loan, maybe they'll sell him. There is still, a few days left of that Italian transfer window, I believe. But there we go, that's going to do it for today's video. If you think I've got any of the player ratings wrong, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Be as diplomatic as possible. There's no need to be aggressive here. Thank you very much. And of course, if you want to see a specific club, then you can also let me know down below as well. If you have enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.